I have a 350Z, similar to you. It's still a VQ, unfortunately, but LS coming soon.
Unfortunately, my ass. I will always stand up for the VQ, dude. Best V6 on the planet.
Hey, no lie.
Argue with me. So what is considered like a flex in the RC world?
I would say realism at scale is the flex.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is the Seto probably the best to learn on?
I would definitely say so. It gives you the ability to do everything you want at no additional cost. Is there a chance that drifting's bigger in Europe than it is in the US?
From a viewer standpoint,
100%.
I love Drift Masters way better.
Oh, I'm with you, 100%.
It's so much more consumable. So that in that sense, I would say, yeah, maybe Europe, over in that area of the world, drifting is a little bit more prominent. Welcome back to the #1 Drift podcast on YouTube. I am Dawson, and today we have
Gary Reyes.
Nice for you to come on. I appreciate you
sir.
came down from Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah, so got some northern boys on today. So all of you fellas out there have been asking for it. You got it. And we got some interesting stuff to talk about, actually. He's got his own like sponsorship type deal company and everything. You'll see. We'll get into that. But before we do, go ahead and look below the video. If that subscribe button is still red, you're going to want to go ahead and click that along with the bell notification so you are always updated with every episode. And then, of course, if you want to be the spotlight of the outro, make a reel of your car, something like that. You driving, tag me in it, and the one with the most likes at the end of the week will be the spotlight of the outro in the podcast. And then, of course, so I do have some pretty special announcements coming up in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that, not only on here, but on Instagram, TikTok, and all that stuff too. So sorry, that was long-winded again, but that's it for the introduction. So if you want to kind of introduce yourself a little bit, tell us, where you work, what car you have, stuff like that.
So my name's Gary, and I own Sponsored Adrenaline. We are a new organization that's dedicated to sponsoring grassroots drivers. As far as car goes, I have a 350Z, similar to you. Mm-hmm. It's still a VQ, unfortunately, but LS coming soon.
Unfortunately, my ass. I will always stand up for the VQ, dude. Best V6 on the planet.
Hey, no lie.
Argue with me.
I won't even argue that because the car, I have not touched the thing in the last 2 seasons. Like, besides oil changes and basic maintenance, it's been super reliable. So the VQ is legit. I won't talk no shit.
Is it a
about
DE?
It is a DE.
Fucking right.
It's a DE. Thing is legit. All right. I have had 0 issues with the car. So yes, big ups to the VQ.
Hell yeah.
But LS coming soon. It has KBD kit.
Fucking right.
So super legit. As far as
we love KBD here.
Yeah, angle kit. Wait,
hold on. The KBD kit. What front bumper was it?
Great question. I don't know.
It's the really round one.
It
right?
is.
I can't remember the name either, but it's the really round one. Do you have the side skirts?
I do. I had that entire kit. And then I blew the rear bumper off, and nobody told me that I did. So I didn't.
Oh, so it ran over.
No, it unlatched from the top. And got stuck on the exhaust, and the exhaust burnt a hole through
fuck.
Yeah, legit. I'll send you a picture. It blew a brand new hole in the the bottom valance that you add on.
Oh, dude.
So nobody said nothing. I literally went 4 laps with it just hanging just enough to be burning through.
How long do you have that kit so far? Did it come on the car when you bought it?
It didn't. The car actually came bone stock as far as kit goes. Damn. And I put the KBD on there. It's been great as far as no matter what, wheel drops, and I am wearing out the bottom of my side skirts because it's body kit low. I put it as low as I could. But it's it's legit. So
dude, I will always rant and rave about KBD.
Yeah.
And actually, by the time this comes out, I'm making a reel of the first time I said something about KBD on the podcast because I looked at the camera and I was like, if you want to sponsor me, KBD, being a fucking dickhead. And he was like, dude, you got to make a reel out of that. I was like, say fucking less. I am doing that. So if you saw that, how'd you like it? It's fucking hilarious. Anyways, but you got the Vertex style rear bumper now, right?
Yes, I was waiting for that kit for so long, and then
dude, best kit for a Z.
Yes, I agree, 100%. I've been waiting this entire time, but I had wrapped the car and then put the livery on the car, and then it came, and then it dropped, and I was like, well, like I don't even know how to begin to piece together a new livery.
Yeah.
So I just did the back bumper. I mean, so whenever, eventually, I don't even think I can't say when I break or mess up the bumper. It's just when I decide. When I decide,
the front bumper is what does it for me on that kit. Oh, that's the reason my car has went 3 fucking years of driving with no front bumper. Because I was like, I want the Vertex kit, but I don't have Vertex money.
Yeah, especially not a fiberglass kit.
So I was like, KBD. Yeah. I'm gonna wait till you make it. Yeah. That way I don't destroy it either. So
exactly, because it's bound to happen with the fiberglass.
It's hard to justify buying fiberglass when something like that exists.
I agree, 100%.
But all right, so sorry, we can stop ranting about KVD. All right, well, tell me a little bit more about the car. Like, do you have the Crown Carbon overfenders on the front?
I do.
Do you have the rear ones as well?
I do.
Okay. What's your opinion on those? Because I personally, it fucking hurt buying the rears, and mine are already fucked up. Like,
they're legit. And I mean that because, one, my son and I both learned how to drive on this car in this car, and we have hit some really deep drops to where we bottom out the suspension and it smacks, the actual front, the fiberglass.
Yeah.
And it's held up perfectly. I've had no issues with it. So, and even
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's very well made. Okay. I'll attest to that.
Because they're technically like Hyper Hive now or something like that. The name changed.
I don't know.
I don't know. Correct me in the comments if I don't remember the name, but yeah, those are like the best. And anyone that says Rocket Bunny ones, fucking gross.
I'm not even gonna. I have no opinion.
I'm sorry, dude. There's nothing about a Rocket Bunny kit like gets my rocks off.
And I'm only saying that because I don't want to talk shit. So
no, I know. I'm not talking shit. Like they're very quality made.
Yeah,
there's some great body kits, but it's just that type of design just doesn't suit me.
I'm with you.
Very race car.
Yeah,
is what I see. Like a very race car aesthetic.
I don't know what to call it. Because I do like some race car stuff, but I just don't like the Rocket Bunny kits. So yeah, I'm with you on it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have no experience with them, so I don't want it to say you know what I'm saying. Yeah. I personally, yes, I don't like them though, from a aesthetic standpoint.
See, I was going to, because I like the Crown Carbon front overfenders the best, but like the Rocket Bunny overfenders have a good shape to them. It's just those little vents on top. I hate that. I hate it. It's not an F1 car. There's no reason those vents should be there. I honestly thought about buying some like knockoff Rocket Bunny overfenders on eBay and fiberglassing over those holes and running it that way. I don't think anybody would notice. Maybe they would.
I mean, you got to be good with, if you're buying knockoff anything fiberglass.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to work for it.
Yeah, you would definitely. You're gonna spend that money somewhere else.
But I don't want to do that to a real Rocket Bunny kid.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't want to,
for sure,
because that's like I want to respect the product. Like the product's good. That's why I'd buy the fake ones.
Yeah,
but I guess that's kind of disrespecting the product too.
I mean, if you're changing the whole thing up, actually, it's just making it.
Call me out in the comments if I am. I don't know. We'll learn one day. So, how long have you been physically drifting?
So, I've only been drifting. This was my second season, I think. Yeah, second season.
So you're still fairly new,
bro. I'll tell you what. Once I launched this company, Sponsored Adrenaline, is when I realized, like, holy shit, you know nothing about drifting. I was like,
okay. So what were some aspects of it that kind of came to mind whenever you realized that?
Like how much history there is in drifting and how many people have been doing it. And Well, the other thing is like on our website, people create driver profiles, right? So through these profiles, now I'm getting to know people's journeys, like how long they've been drifting, how they discovered drifting,
Yeah.
right? And you got guys in there that have been drifting 10, 15 years or that have been obsessing about it from the Japanese culture back in the day, right? And I'm like,
fucking right.
And I'm like, shit, I don't know none of that. I'm like, bro, I came from RC drifting. I was drifting RC cars.
We're gonna talk about that too, because I know absolutely zero about RC drifting, and I want to know. Not to get into it, but we'll get to there.
Yeah. So that's why I realized, like, man, like I legit don't know like all the old school, where it originated from, like, you know, how it became popular, who brought it to the States, like all of this, like shit that you should probably know when you're in love with something. But it's not like, I mean, I don't think the history takes away from
I think you can learn it without knowing the backstory fully.
Yeah. So I've been piecing it together, through just people's stories.
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm very new to drifting. I just fell in love with it. Like, it was all in from right from the beginning.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, before we get into the company, because there's a lot to talk about there, from your first event that you ever, where was that? Where was your first
Drift
event?
Indie season opener in, what was that 2022?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the setup on the car at your first event?
So it was the way I bought it set up. So at that first event, it was exactly what the previous owner had. I had never drifted before, so I didn't know if
did it have an angle kit?
Yeah,
like what
full
was...
Mega Mantis, FDF Mega Mantis angle kit, BC coils,
Sick.
Chase Bay, e-brake. So it was a perfect, I mean, full roll cage. So it was set up.
So perfectly. You were already like ready to rip.
Oh yeah, ISR rear arm. So everything in the rear was adjustable.
So some people like arguably too set up to start. Yeah. Like, I mean, some stuff you could have gotten away, like hydros and stuff like that. Yeah. You can get away with not having that to start out. Yeah. You know,
so I will definitely say, having all of that helped me tremendously at that event. And only because, I mean, when you have a Mega Mantis and you don't know what you're doing, you can fucking crab walk the car.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
Dude.
So that first event, it rained, it snowed, it sunshined. It was a roller coaster of weather. Like, over the 2 days.
Did you have it set up like at full max? Like you had all the angle?
I didn't know. The previous owner did.
Yeah.
He had it almost. He did have a little stop on it, but it was
probably for over rotate.
Yeah, exactly. So it was
whatever the fucking term is. I can't ever think suspension stuff confuses the hell out of me.
I know what you're trying to say. So it doesn't over angle or overlock.
It's where the tie rod gets to its full extent and then kind of pivots and it locks it. That's when you like when you're at full lock and you can't get the steering back. That's what's happening.
Yes.
So
I can't think of the name either right now.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. What the fuck? Again, call me out in the comments. Yeah, I don't know.
But we both know what we're trying to say.
Yeah. So I explained it. You know what I'm talking about. The word.
Yeah, so that event, because of that big ass angle kit, like when it rained, I mean, I was just crab walking the track.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say
bounce back catch. Yep. Full lock bounce back catch.
And I wouldn't say that, like some people say, oh, that's a crutch or whatever. Yeah. Because as you get better, you obviously dial it back, because if you're gonna crab walk, you can't chase someone, you can't keep up, you can't like so.
Oh well, dude, the best thing to do is if you have the money, get the angle kit, just limit it.
Yeah.
Just let yourself work up to the big angle. That's the best route to go if you have the money. Obviously, people are on a budget sometimes, but you know.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Because obviously you're if you're working up the other way, let's say you don't have the kit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're naturally going to get better at the control, like catching the steering wheel. But if you do have it and you limit it, you can change it as you progress.
Yeah, I just think you'll always learn more of those like split-second decisions you have to make to keep the car in drift when you don't have as much angle. Still future-proof your car, get the angle kit, of course. Yeah. You know.
So having it was off the hook for that.
Yeah.
So that was my first event ever. And Well, actually, so that was my first time ever driving the car, but
Okay.
I had a sim at the house. So I was.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did you have the sim before
a year
drifting? Okay. So you got some good seat time on the sim.
Yeah. So I went from RC drifting to sim drifting to an actual car.
Holy shit.
Yeah. The sim was the turning point. Which is funny because I got like a G29 for my son.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He asked for it. I don't know if it was his birthday or Christmas or whatever, but that's how we got it. And we gave up like after like, I don't know, 2 weeks of trying to mess with the G29. We gave up. And it took like a long break where we didn't touch the thing.
Where you have to like calibrate it and shit when you first get it or something?
Not necessarily. It was just we just couldn't figure it out. Like we literally just couldn't get. We didn't understand the concept of, letting the steering wheel go, let it do its thing, kind of. It was just like we were just spinning out to the point we were so frustrated we were done.
Yeah.
So we took a break, and then he came back and started playing Car X, which was, I guess, was a little more friendly. And then I was like, oh damn, all right, let me try that.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I went like and spent what a car cost on a rig.
Oh my god.
And went full blown like everything.
All right. Well, let's start, because you said the RC stuff was first, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's start there and then work to the sim stuff, because I didn't realize how heavy into the sim you were. So RC stuff. Explain RC drifting to me like I have no fucking clue what you're talking about, because I physically don't.
All right.
I don't know anything about it.
So RC drifting is a 1/10 scale of real drifting. Like the car from setup, we're talking everything from toe to camber. It all translates.
Holy shit.
Like literally everything. Suspension, rebound, dampening, everything on an RC car, it translates. So you learn a lot about the effects of movement of the car. As far as counter steer, so you have a gyro on the RC car that counter steers for you. Because while there's some guys out there that can do it, at the speed hard. that it actually, to
it's
catch
such a
the
small
drift,
scale.
Exactly.
It's snapping really fast.
Yeah. So it does it for you. Yeah. So I mean, from it literally is a 1/10 scale version.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as suspension and setup goes, the same things apply. In the rear end, like where you're adding camber or your contact patch or how much toe in you run, like all of those things are the exact same. What's different is obviously power delivery. It's in the finger. And then it's the eyes, you're watching what the car's doing and where you need to place it. But yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, but
dude, RCs are so cool. I just don't know the industry of it. So, so like you can make adjustments like as if it was a normal car. So like you 100%. Can adjust each corner of the car, suspension and shit like that.
I have scales where I corner balance my car.
No, you don't.
Yes, bro. I do. Yes, I do.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. No. So hold on.
You rebuild your shocks with different weights, different oils for dampening.
What?
So, yes. Like legit.
It's that hardcore.
It's I mean, to get out there and drift an RC car, you can buy a ready to run car and go drift.
Yeah. Because there's there's companies that will build them for you and stuff too.
Yeah. There's already quite a few. It's not what it used to be. You can buy a full kit ready to go right now and go out there and start drifting. But once you get in the weeds, like it's the adjustments are infinite,
endless.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So like at NSS here locally, they'll do like inside of one of the little buildings they have there, they'll set up a RC course that is identical to the layout that we're running in real life. IRL, however you want to say it for you fucking youngins. Which I am a youngin too, but that's ironic. But they have a separate room off to the side where it's like a bunch of desks with dividers and stuff like that, and that's like technically their pits.
Yes.
So like it looks so strange from like an outsider peeking in there, but like so what are you mostly doing in that pit time of RC drifting? Like what are you actually physically doing?
So anytime I go to a new track, very similar to competitive drifting, you're trying to put grip in the car. Like, yes,
there's no way this is real.
Yes,
dude.
yes, it is. So when you go to new tracks, oftentimes your car won't be. I mean, there's a general setup that you could use that might work okay at different tracks, but the surface has a ton to do. So if it's concrete,
the fuck
yes,
up.
if it's
No,
concrete,
it's
if it's
not.
P-tile, if it's so you need to tune the car for the surface.
So are you actually like using rubber tires on these things?
No,
like,
they're plastic, but there is different grades of plastic.
You're only working with like mechanical grip. It's not like traction wise.
There is grip, tire grip, but a lot of tracks have a spec tire. So you have to run.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
that's not real.
This is real. This is real. So,
dude, I swear to do any of you guys, this is not, I'm not the only one this is surprising right now.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yes.
I didn't realize how invested you guys were.
Yes. Yes. So.
Okay, so you're all like just in the pits is literally like pits for the car.
100%.
You're put it making a consumable change. There's there consumables?
No, just your battery. It's not necessarily consumable, but you got to charge it up. So
do the actual plastic tires wear out some?
They do. Yeah,
okay,
they do. And they feel different when they're new versus when they're broken in. There's
no, they're not.
Yes.
Dude, what the fuck is this world? This is so simple. Like, I would honestly, this is kind of like an argument to sim racing. Like, you could go down either path and learn how to drift.
See,
sort of.
Yes.
The basics.
Well,
I'll always say, if you can learn the basics of anything, you can learn the entirety of it.
Yes.
But
so there's parts obviously like feel and things like that and that don't translate per se.
Yeah.
But I think what I've learned the most from RC drifting that's translated is car setup, is understanding a car. Like suspension geometry.
Wow.
Because there's also things that you do getting nerdy now, but like you can change the pivot points on different things, like which is you do in a same thing when you're adjusting caster or so
correct me if I'm wrong, you can't technically do that in sim racing, right?
So you can
make the specific adjustments per like corner as far as suspension goes. You can actually understand the mechanical changes that are going, not just the physical feeling, but the mechanical changes.
So in sim, you can. The problem is that all the car packs are so different. They don't all react the same to the changes you make, depending on who
it's still an algorithm.
So it doesn't. I have a harder time feeling the change in sim where I know my RC cars, so I instantly can like, dude, this is so cool. I make one change and I'm like, oh, that's shit. Okay, let's not do that.
So what are some of the most common changes you have to make when you first do a lap on a new track?
Best thing to do is actually drive the track repeatedly for a while.
Okay. Without making any
whatever your setup was.
Okay.
And then that'll give you an idea. In some cases, it's something as simple as rear camber, a little more slip, more catch in different areas. Yeah, it's like my front suspension or my front geometry is the same. I'm pretty much keep it always the same. My 5 degrees of camber, like I have my go-to setup. It's usually in the back just a little bit, contact patch, or how much the car's rolling based on how much grip it's getting on the different surface. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so are almost all the chassis like themselves, like, because obviously you have like the body cover that goes over it, but like the chassis, are they all relatively the same, or is there different lengths?
No, there's like the chassis game is the layout. Okay. So there's some that have. I mean, now so many of them are adjustable where you can mount the motor high or low or towards the front or towards the back behind the shock tower. So where you distribute the weight has a ton to do with the characteristics of the car. And the same thing for the battery, whether it's
blowing right now. Dude,
this
is
weight,
so weird.
Yeah. So I'm a complete nerd on the RC game. So
dude, well, no, it's always fascinated the hell out of me because it's like it's literally just a dumbed down version, but not even dumbed down.
Yeah, it's just smaller.
It's just as complicated.
Yeah,
it's just
it really is
scaled down. But like you'll see people do like the whole truck and trailer setups with them and stuff too, and like really go all out. Like I saw one that was the camera was like pretty close up to what was happening, really low to the floor, so it almost looked like it was real life. And the RC car was far enough to where you couldn't really tell it was an RC car. It looked more like a real car. But then you started seeing like the actual barriers, and you're like, that's not real. That's you know. But like people get into it. It's really wild to see. So like our competitions and stuff ran almost identical to drift competitions.
They are. Yes. They are. And there's big ones that are like multi-state where you got to travel and stuff too. It's like legit.
So do a lot of those people like come with multiple RC cars? Like do you like in drifting have to stay with one chassis? Like the same car if you're competing in it? If you do your qualifying lap in this car, you have to compete in that car only.
Yes, I believe the way that the comp is ran, it is the same chassis.
Okay. Because I mean some events aren't like that, of course, but dude. Wow. So top 32, top 16.
Yeah, qualifying.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, you qualified, then top 32, top 16.
Bro. Okay, so what is considered like a flex in the RC world?
Let me think.
Because like in drifting, you know, if you're a low boy tucking tire, like great fitment, that's a fucking flex.
That's
dude.
Same thing applies. So like style, I would say realism at scale is the flex.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So if your chassis, like if I took a picture of my chassis and you could confuse it for a real car, that's a flex. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're doing it 10th scale and it looks There's a guy out there who does bodies. His name is Josh G. If you ever get bored enough, look up any of his bodies. He does a lot of like the FD cars and like like some of the overseas Japanese drivers, their cars, and he does them to scale, like legit. What from the livery, the interior, the roll cages, the wheels.
How much does something like that cost? Because you're just paying for strictly the body of it, right?
I honestly don't know. I do all my own, so I don't, and I'm nowhere near as good. I'm just basic. I'm a rattle can in my body.
Stay humble. I get it. Whatever. You're better than most people watching, I'm sure. Because most people watching, I guarantee you don't even do RC judging.
Well, they should.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of selling me on it right now. That sounds very interesting. But okay, so let's go down that path then. If someone was interested in getting their first RC car, what would a good brand or platform or car, if you should just get a pre-built one, build one yourself, like where should someone start? I
would say Yokomo is a very well-known brand. A lot of support, a lot of parts. Okay. So that's a good one. MST is another one. They offer a ready to run kit that brings everything you need to at least get on track. And they're set up and have minimal adjustments, so you can't really mess it up until you are ready to do all those adjustments. So those are two of the main brands, I would say. The majority of the cars are sold as kits, and so you basically build the chassis from the ground up, which I think is smart because you learn every nut and bolt. So if you break something, you'll know how to fix it. Exactly. But at the same time,
real quick, is there some jobs on an RC car that are an absolute pain in the ass, just like real cars?
Great question.
Because like if you got to pull a trans at the track, fuck that.
Definitely not doing it. No. Yeah.
So is there a part on an RC car that's an absolute pain in the ass to get to, or something?
I couldn't say that. I could take apart.
It's all relatively.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
For the most part.
That just popped into my head and I was curious. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the last thing we were on?
Oh, just kits for them to buy.
Oh, okay. So a full kit, those companies, what does like the average kit cost?
The starter kits are anywhere from like $300. I think they might have gone up, probably like $350 to $500.
Okay.
And those usually bring everything you need to get going. But you will need actually battery and charger. Mm-hmm. Even the ones that bring a battery and charger, like you would they're probably trash. You probably want to buy a fast charger and a nicer battery. So I'd say, I don't know, $500-600. You can definitely get in for less. You know, there's marketplace and things like that.
That's a lot cheaper than I expected, truthfully.
Yeah. When you're into like maximum adjustment, you want all the carbon fiber and you know,
how much would one of those
shocks.
pre-built cars cost? Or could you even get one pre-built?
No, you can. That? So you can, and we're talking just the chassis, so no electronics.
Okay.
About $800, $850. And then electronics, you're probably in. If you want high end, you can always get like cheaper stuff for like $200.
Yeah.
But if you want high end electronics, you're probably going to be in another $600-700. And then depending on radios are, you could like what you actually use to drive the car.
Oh, the controller.
There's infinite adjustment. Like mine, I can control everything on it. I can make adjustments on the car or for the motor. You know, how it reacts, the servo.
You can like tune it.
I can tune everything off my controller. But those controllers, you're going to start at like $250, I think, to get like
just the controller.
Wow. So all in, if you want top of the line car, you're going to spend $2,000. You know, you're going to.
Wow, dude. Which isn't like to learn drifting. I mean,
to learn drifting,
I'd say
start at that. I mean, because the thing is, are you going to stick with it, right? So if you spend,
well, yeah, but I mean, you could get a sim rig for $2,000. I would say that would be more valuable to learn drifting
for sure. Sure.
I still think this is a good avenue for like people that still want to physically be doing it. Because like, there's only so much that virtual can really stimulate you, because you're not feeling anything. You're just driving it, but like. I mean, same thing with the RC car, but like you're physically there, you're operating and like watching what's happening and not just through a screen.
Yeah. And you're testing theories. So if you're beginning, you'll start to understand more suspension as you go, right? Like if you want to, because I'm a nerd, so I looked the shit up, you know what I'm saying? But it does translate. So it gives you that ability to. And even if you are going the opposite, right? You're RC drifting, you drift a car and you're RC drifting. Well, it's very easy to make adjustments. To change a little end link to adjust your toe or your camber, or to see the effects of it. So it's dope. It's the best when you live in a state that has a winter and an off season.
Yeah.
So if you can find a couple hours on a Sunday or a Saturday, you can.
Damn.
You can still get doors on
That's awesome. Is there stuff that like, because in real drifting, you'll have major failures like engines blowing or something like that. Is there stuff that commonly happens like that are failures during a competition or like physically driving?
Things do happen. Part of it is oftentimes when stuff like that happens, like you'll blow a motor.
Yeah.
It's the gearing's wrong, or you're running too much turbo or boost.
You probably just set it up wrong.
So it's running hot, or you're running hot for too long.
Did you just say turbo or boost?
Yeah. So
that's not a thing.
That is a thing.
That's not. No.
Yes, on the electronic.
Fuck, dude.
Yes, on the electronic speed controller, there is turbo.
So does it just set to be like fucking twitchy?
So in a sense of like you can.
No.
Yes, you can ramp it in. You can. So so after a certain point
I feel like that's
RPM,
just cheating. Okay, is there parameters around that in competition? At least, because I feel like that's just cheating.
I think there is in some. I'm not sure.
Because if you can set it to just fucking light off full tilt,
the thing is
on one transition,
it takes way more than that. Because it doesn't matter if you have the fastest, most torque or most smoothest.
Well, you still gotta
motor.
have the driver skill and shit like that.
It's the setup. You got to get it to the ground.
Okay,
it's no different. It's no different than a real car. Like you can have 1,000 horsepower, but if your setup is shit, you can't get it to the ground. You're just gonna roast the tires.
This is so cool.
So it's the same thing.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, we've gone down a RC drifting rabbit hole.
Okay. So what is some? I'll keep going, dude. This is crazy. So what are some common misconceptions with RC drifting that people say or do from the outside that just isn't quite understood?
I'd say that it's easy.
Okay.
Like it looks.
I can see that. Yeah.
You're like, oh, so remote control car. I played with this when I was a kid. Like,
yeah.
And then you just
I sucked at those.
Yeah.
I couldn't drive those in a straight line. What the fuck?
So there's that where they think it's easy, which I've been doing it for so long that I think
It's
it is easy, but it's like it's not. When you're beginning, holding a drift is not as easy as one would think.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So like in comparison, a lot of people will be able to link the track on their first track day. Let's just commonly you hear people mostly saying I was able to link on my first track day. Is that common in RC racing? Does it normally take a few times going out and trying to actually link it?
It might take you all day. And in most cases though, what I'd say it's a bad setup. Like, cause you're new.
Everything keeps coming back to the bad
setup.
Yeah,
no, I'm serious. It's cause you're new, you don't know. You may have over tightened something, or you may have like something's binding, or because you're talking scale, right? So if your front wheel at full lock scrubs your body, it's gonna make you over rotate, right? It's no different than if you're drifting in real life and you lock up your front, and it's gonna bring you around. So
how many times have you forgotten in this conversation that we're actually talking about RC cars? That's the wild part. It's like there's been a couple moments where I'm like, wait, are we talking about real cars or RC cars right now?
Yeah.
Because we're like straight up, every little detail is almost identical.
It's there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Another thing that RC cars will teach you a ton about is Ackerman.
No way.
Yeah. Because it changes the entire dynamic of the car. Like if you're at 0 or if you got, a little. Yeah. So you learn.
Offset it. That's crazy. Wow. How many? Leave it in the comments if you're about to go buy an RC car now. I'm contemplating buying a cheap one just to play around with. I'll fucking do it in here while I'm waiting on a video to export or some shit.
I'm telling you, it can be an addiction quickly.
My whole house is hardwood. I'd go fucking mayhem.
There you go. You get
dude, everywhere. The room over there on the other side is a full-on cat room. I'd be fucking with all my cats.
There it is.
Nonstop. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
all right. Who's doing a bulk order with me? Are we all getting RC cars now?
I know some guys. They can hook you up.
He's got the plug in everything. Yeah. All right, cool. Branching off from RC drifting, finally. I'll finally get off that shit. I was just mesmerized. But so how specifically did that branch you into the sim drifting?
So, like I was saying earlier, I bought the kid. He asked for one. I bought him a G29.
Yeah.
That turned into he started linking CarX, and I was like, oh, this is sick. But this wheel is not so cool because we had it like mounted to a regular, like just a desk.
Oh,
so it wasn't like an actual rig. Yeah,
flopping all over
exactly.
the place, yeah.
So I went way overboard and bought a complete rig. I mean, like it's bad as hell.
Who VR. Is it
by? So the rig itself is a track racer.
Okay.
Aluminum rig. And then I have like a semi-cube direct drive wheel, badass pedals, brake, shifter, all that.
So is it okay? So there's like Thrustmaster. There's fucking.
So semi-cube is like.
Oh, semi-cube is its own.
Like that's
like the top. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like
I don't know my Sims like that.
So that's just the wheel itself. That's just the unit that drives the wheel.
How does that compare to like Fanatec? Because to me, Fanatec would be like the most high quality one I know of.
Fanatec is just very well known. I wouldn't say they're the highest quality, but they are good.
Yeah,
they are good.
Okay.
But they have their whole ecosystem, so you're kind of like once you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah, it's like a Sony versus Canon type deal if you're a photographer and shit.
So it's good though. I mean, any of them will get you drifting, get you sim drifting. So I wouldn't. I'm not brand biased at all. And when it comes to it, but that's just the one we have, and it's super. It's butter smooth, and it feels very real. You can make a lot of adjustments to make the feedback feel like a real car, like real feedback.
Okay, so like as far as adjustments, what adjustments would you actually be making on that to make it more realistic in the steering, or have more counter steer, or whatever it is?
It's basically what it is: the speed of the wheel, the firmness, the feedback. Like when you hit, let's say, a curb on, how does that feel? Like, what does
jerks? The wheel
how does it jerk? Yeah. Okay. So there's already a lot of pre-built for just about every one out there. There's pre-built. Somebody took the time to build a profile. Yeah. And then you just tweak it.
Which I think that's going to be important to anyone new that hasn't driven an actual car before. Yeah. That's, to me, that would be something that's a little confusing for people getting into it. Because, like, how would you even know what that's supposed to feel like? Yeah. So that would be very confusing to me.
Yeah. So there's already pre-made profiles. Yeah. Each of them have their own, like, setup, and there's Facebook groups and just about everything else out there. Yeah, to help.
Yeah. What are some of the preset profiles that you started off with or you used in the beginning?
So the SimiCube, the system I use, I just searched for like sim drifting and for Assetto Corsa for the game. Okay. I searched for the actual game, and it had a bunch of different ones, and I just experimented and tried different ones. Gotcha. So.
Are they like free to download? Or do some cost money or
no? In my bad. In that system, those are they're free. Okay. And most of them come preset in one way or another. You just tweak them, and YouTube's going to be your friend on that.
Yeah, YouTube University for anything.
Yeah. There's enough guys that have set it up a million different ways that could tell you like, oh, do this, do that. Yeah. And yeah. And in all cases, it's still preference, right? Like there's no right or wrong. But it does help a lot because if it swings back, let's say the steering wheel really fast, it's unrealistic. Yeah. And real drifting, while it whips back, it's going to depend on, how you right? Like
pivot the car and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't just do it. So there's things that'll make it harder to hold a drift if the settings are wrong. Gotcha. But I wouldn't let that deter anyone because YouTube, there's endless.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways to work out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Quirks to it. Is there like what is Assetto probably the best to learn on, or does it vary?
I would say
based off of.
I would definitely say so. Assetto.
Why though? Like what makes Assetto better than the other ones? Is it the way the cars feel, the realism, or how many adjustments you can make based on?
I wouldn't mess with any of that to be like adjustments and stuff. As far as like cars and car packs, I would download the car packs. I would say Assetto's the best because of one, the support. Like the game's been around forever.
Well, yeah.
So every track you want to drive in real life probably is already there. It exists.
That's fair.
So there's that, and there's cars galore on there. So from low horsepower cars, so if you have a low horsepower car, you can find one that you can drive. Yeah. Or if you want to try FD style cars, they're in there too. Like it gives you the ability to do everything you want at no additional cost, right? Like and I will say driving tracks on Assetto before you drive them in real life translates extremely well.
Oh yeah, I've said that plenty of times because like with Scott, whenever we had to go to New Jersey and drive at E-Town and the figure 8, dude, that track's scary. If you haven't done any laps on Sim before going there, good luck, buddy. You're probably going to total your shit because you completely underestimate the grip levels on that track, and you're surrounded every way you look by walls. Yeah. So it's a very intimidating track, and being able to learn something like that on Sim beforehand is incredibly valuable.
Agreed. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's why I say Assetto 1. Definitely support, and just everybody's on it.
Yeah. So, I tried driving a Z on Scott's specifically, and he has a Fanatec and stuff too, so it's a little bit like more realistic. I was able to actually kind of drive the G29s and shit. I can't drive those to save my life, like whatsoever. It's damn near impossible for me. Yeah. But And you said you run VR, right?
I do.
Is it just you just use VR, or do you use the screen sometimes?
No, I just use VR.
Okay. So do you get motion sickness or
I don't.
non-motion sickness, I guess?
I don't get any sickness. But if you do a trick that you could, so my first time trying VR, my kid was, he was using VR for other stuff to play other games and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was like so natural for him to just, when we hooked it up, for him to, for me, I was like, okay, you're like, all right, I'm moving, but I'm not moving. Like, this is crazy.
What's funny is as humans are naturally going to adapt now to be able to handle that of constantly looking into VR. I guarantee you.
Oh,
where in a couple generations, you'll never hear someone get sick off of that shit.
I believe it. I mean, it's where we're headed.
Yeah. Well, so, okay, let's not go there. But why did you choose to go VR rather than the screens?
So I did start with the screen, and there's settings that are called neck effects. So when you swing the car sideways, it's like you're looking out the window, right? Yeah. But it's so, once you try VR, you'll never go back. Because it makes it so real. Like, you can literally look around in the car. Yeah, you can, when you're dooring someone, like, you're there. You know what I'm saying? Like, or when they're on your door and you're just looking over, it's like, Just
imagine when, like, the whole Unreal Engine thing gets combined with simulations. Oh my God, you talk about VR looking realistic. Like, it still looks like a fucking cartoon in there.
Yeah,
but like,
true.
Unreal Engine 5 or whatever the fuck, 6, whatever the hell that thing's called, where it literally looks as real as it gets, like better than CGI. That's when it's gonna be fucking wild to have VR.
Obviously with a better experience like that, or more demanding, obviously you're gonna have to upgrade just about everything else.
Oh, your computer's gotta be fucking gnarly. Yeah. 100%. I agree with that, but
it's gonna be sick because I mean it already is. It's maximum fun. I'll tell you, I'll be on the VR. Sometimes I have a fan. So I was going to say that having a fan blow on you while you drive, if you do get any type of sickness, helps because it feels like you're moving. Yeah. And you got the wind. So that helps. But I'll do a 2-hour session. Next thing you know, I'm taking my VR off and I'm drenched in sweat. I've been on track for I've been doing laps.
Feeling that trans tunnel heat, dog. I don't know what to say.
I'm serious, because I mean, as you play for a long time, your computer heats up, the VR heats up. It gets hot, bro. It's like no lie.
Literally, it gets hot.
So, yeah,
that's so weird. So, what if someone was trying to get into sim drifting, and so that they can eventually get to a car? What would you suggest they would what sim kit? We'll go with that. Should they go for to start off on a budget?
Man, I feel like I'm not qualified to answer that question, but
more qualified than someone that doesn't have a sim.
This is true. But I will say, like, Fanatec is a great package because they sell everything. Like, mine is piecemealed with the best from this person, the best from that, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't have to. It works, right? Yeah. Like, if you bought a full Fanatec setup, it will work.
Yeah.
I even like the G29, the Thrustmasters, and those. It's not that you can't drift with them, is that you can't do, like, for instance, their pedals are like on and off for the most part. On the lower entry level, you can't left foot brake. You can't do like a lot of things that you do in a real car because they're so on and off. They're not like, they don't have that, I don't know what to even call it. But can you do it? Yes. If that's what your budget is, your budget's $300 and you really want to do that, then go for it.
Fucking send the shit.
Exactly. But if you have a little more money, a Fanatec ecosystem is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get everything all in one shot. There's some new brands out there that are very cost friendly. Like, there's one called Moza.
I heard of that one. Yeah.
So they're getting more involved in esports and things like that.
Okay.
And they're legit. Their wheels are legit, and they're a lot better priced than you get a high end quality for not the crazy price.
Yeah.
So that's another one you can look into. Let me think. There's Sim Magic. Sim Magic is another.
Okay.
They have a full ecosystem now also that you can look into. So there's options. There's options galore actually.
Shit.
But it's all about budget.
How big it's become.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you think like 2-3 years ago, you may have known 1-2 people that had like this makeshift sim.
Yeah.
And now people have like fucking like the front end of their car is in their bedroom.
Yes.
Attached to a computer.
Yes.
Like where people get that. What's your opinion on that? Where people get that in depth into it to where they want to use it for practice. So they literally take a dash, take a center console out of an actual car and have every little piece identical to their positioning in their car.
I think.
Because like that's honestly overkill. Like you're getting the same visual effect. So you have the long wide screen in the windshield,
yeah,
and that's your view. And of course, you could use VR, but your gear shifter's in the same exact spot, handbrake same exact spot, pedals same exact spot. Like that's very impressive.
It definitely is. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome. I have measured my pedals and my e-brake and mine isn't. I can't say it's 100% on. Especially because since my son and I both use it, our bodies are different, like our lengths and stuff. Yeah. So, there's had compromises were made on different things, but, I think it's ideal to do that.
Yeah.
Because, muscle memory, right? Mm-hmm. When you want to grab your e-brake, like grabbing it in my car and grabbing it on my sim is the exact same thing. Like I could do it. I could do it with my eyes closed because it's just muscle memory. They're both in the same spot.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the shifter. So missing less shifts because it's in the same spot. So I think it's smart. I think it's a great tool to practice, especially if you have an extended off season for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Or you have winters like we do. Yeah. I think it's and it's fun. That's the other thing. It is fun. Just like with all drifting, it's fun with friends. Like you get a couple guys in a Discord and play for hours at a time.
Yeah,
and it's no different than being on the track.
I can't. I'm like that, but I'm weird about video games. I hate video games. You've all heard me say that a million times, but yeah. So I personally wouldn't be able to do that. Like I would get annoyed after maybe an hour.
Yeah,
if that. But so do you suggest, we'll branch it into this last question. Do you suggest that if someone is on a low budget, they should shoot for buying the sim over buying a car that would physically get them to drifting? Because I know like the cost is different. You couldn't just buy a car ready for drifting with say $2 or $3 grand, but you could buy a fully operating sim for $2 or $3 grand. It's like that's gonna be very opinionated, but like from different. I always like to get everyone else's perspective.
Okay, so with that, man, it's actually a good debate because here's the thing with drifting in real life, it can be very discouraging to drift for real if you don't have the budget to do it, right? Because not being able to afford drifting and wanting to drift, or breaking something, and not being able to fix it because you don't have budget to do it, is very frustrating. Like with the sim, you spend the cost once and then you can practice as much as you want. Is it the same? It is not the same.
You can break as much as you want.
Exactly. And you can drive every track that everybody's going, no matter what event anybody's doing this weekend, like you can get on the sim and drive it.
Yeah.
Like either if you're not there physically, you can go get on the sim if you get the itch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, so there is that aspect, but it isn't the same. I mean,
of course,
you know, but so that's a tough question. I would,
it's very tough, and there's no right answer.
Yeah.
Like I just want it. That's a lot of the questions like that in drifting are the same way. Cause this sport is so based off of whatever you want to do, you fucking do it. and it's either gonna work or it's not, because the sport's so new. We all don't physically know ourselves. Like there's some tried and true proven methods for certain cars and stuff like that. But like it's so new. Everyone's testing stuff constantly.
For sure.
So in that, like in NASCAR, you do one thing, everyone does the same fucking thing. It's because it's been so proven that there's not really much else to figure out.
For sure.
So if, depending on what their story is to the people at home, they may be more like you. They may be more like the person that would just be like, nah, just fuck the sim, go buy the car and just get into it. Get over your fears. Do it.
So, speaking from personal experience, the sim, so this is going to sound crazy, but I feel like I didn't even discover like real drifting, like where I got into it and started watching like FD and Drift Masters and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think I even started doing that till like 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, the sim is actually what gave me like the courage to like even say, you know what, screw this. I'm going to go buy a car and I'm going to hit the track.
Yeah.
So I think the sim, the fun factor of the sim and like the confidence, I guess false confidence in a sense, but that's what was the turning point, to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy a car. Like I'm actually going to do this. Like the sim, and then discovering like FD Drift Masters type deal and starting to watch it on TV was like, all right, that's it. Like, I'm doing it. I can do this because I can do that on the sim. So I can do it in real life. And it translated very well. It definitely did.
Sweet. Okay. Well, cool. So there you go. You got another perspective on that one. So either go buy your fucking sim or go buy a car. Do one or the other. Stop lollygagging. So I guess let's branch that into your company. So with a lot of newbie stuff, you seem to have kind of found how the approach to drifting is for most people, and I think you're trying to play off of that with your company in a very good way. So explain your company as someone that has never heard of it. Okay. I know you gave like a vague description in the beginning, but like a little bit more detail, like what,
So we are a new org. I mean, our primary goal, and I'll give you the brief or the vague, and we'll dive in.
Yeah.
Our goal is
to have questions themselves too.
Yeah, for sure. The goal is to help you do what you love in the vehicle you love, right? So I'm a drifter. I love drifting. I want to be drifting all the time. So how can I help remove barriers to help you drift, right? Like that's basically the gist of it in a big picture.
Yeah. Now, when you mention barriers, what are said barriers you see most people have?
So, what inspired the entire idea is the cost. Like, so I'll tell you a story, and not to go way off track. I promise I will bring it back. I promise I'll bring it back. But part of what sparked the creation, or even the idea, which took about a year to come to life, was I was at an event and I was pitted next to a guy, and he brought 3 sets of scrubs.
Okay.
All different sizes. Yes, all different sizes. And he had a makeshift trailer made himself. And he was doing whatever it took to get on the track. And I respected that so much.
Yeah.
That I was just like, literally every pair of tires he put on, he was either trying to roll the fender or like trying to change the suspension to make them fit or work. And I was like, damn, this is like, this is it. Like,
this is passion.
Like this is doing what it takes. Like, right. So, that same individual, was like, so obviously my son and I drift, we share a car, and he told my son, we introduced ourselves. Obviously, we're pitted next to each other.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you drive?" Like, "Oh yeah, I seen you ripping out there. That's so sick. You get to drive. Like, you don't got to worry about shit. All you get to do is, just go out there and have fun."
Yeah.
And I thought about that. Like, that shit is crazy. Like, my son is blessed, obviously, because I am providing the opportunity, but at the same time, like, how do I help guys that are doing what it takes? Like, whatever it is, they're that passionate about it. How do I help? Like, how do the barriers I speak of is like, in most cases, it is just the cost of drifting. Tires aren't cheap. Like,
consumables.
Yeah, the consumables for sure. And then even events. Events aren't cheap. Like in most, I mean, depending on how many you drive.
Yeah.
If you're driving 4 times a month and it's $100, that's $400 right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's on the low end. A lot of events are,
it's about average
more
price range.
Yeah.
Well, I would say low end.
Yeah, that's low. I think most are $150, $205.
Yeah.
Depending on where you drive, but yeah,
1 day, 2 days, shit like that.
Exactly.
Course, but,
So that's where it stemmed from. And that was just the beginning, because then it's like, okay, but that's a thought. Like, all right, you can say you want to help people, but how do you do it? Like, how can you make it make sense? And I'll say, and I'll be very transparent with everybody, that we're in our infancy. So we are definitely figuring this out as we go, for sure. And we're very open to new ideas. But what we started with and how we launched the company is, so we created a website, we got merch, we made a bunch of merch that we're selling, and the proceeds of the merch go right back into drivers and sponsoring drivers for a weekend. And I say a weekend, but it could be an event if it's a 1 day. And then we want to get to the point where we're doing a competition series or and more grassroots, low level stuff.
Yeah.
Realistically, could we afford, an FD or pro spec program or pro AM? Probably not.
Which I don't think that would be your job to do.
Exactly.
That's
not
already done and proven to work.
Yeah.
So,
and there is, and that's another thing too, to think about is like, because we say sponsored adrenaline, people are going to compare us to manufacturers that sponsor drivers, that sponsor large drivers.
Yeah.
We are not that. We are not manufacturing parts and sponsoring people to promote our parts.
Yeah.
Right. We're literally just raising money to give back to drivers.
Yeah.
So it's
a very unique concept. And that's like I told you before we started the podcast, whenever I saw it on the car, I didn't technically know if it was like your company or if it was something that was just your presenting sponsor or whatever.
Yeah.
And because I'd seen your website just from you like telling me that whenever we first talked. But it was very professional, and I genuinely thought it was something that had been around for a while. So I think the concept of it that you've got going is very interesting. Yeah. And I think it can work. The lower, because like the guy you mentioned for the example, like that would be amazing. Like everyone wants to help that guy.
Yeah.
Because we love to see that. But in a business perspective, how does something like that sustain you and your company to continue to help those guys? Correct. That's the goal entirely.
Correct. So, and I'm glad you asked that, because that's exactly where we're at today. Is I've poured pretty much all of my money and time in launching it. And we're at a place where we're building, but that's our focus is sustainability. So we are actively trying to form partnerships with different vendors, organizations, manufacturers to help us, to carry some of the burden of sponsoring drivers, of helping drivers. And then the other thing, that we do or that we have on the site are the driver profiles. So they're $50 is what they cost. And to an outsider looking in, they're like, what am I paying $50 for? Right? It's a profile. I could do this on my Instagram. But at the same time, it's how we select drivers. So it's the only way that you even stand a chance of us being able to give back to you is by creating a profile. And then 2, we're actively looking to build more value for those who have profiles with us. Okay. So as we form those partnerships, we're looking, obviously to give back to those who are set up with us. Yeah. So
for social media brain over here, there's a lot of creators that do like an online course, basically. I think that's something that could be integrated into the profile.
Okay.
So you're paying $50. You get this downloadable PDF, or, you go to this link and there's video and, lessons on how to pitch yourself, or how to, and this doesn't have to be you giving the advice.
Right.
You can reach out to drivers that you either have already on memberships that have done all this for years and years. And then that's something that you could sell as, like, with this membership, you get personal advice from this driver, and this driver on how you need to approach these companies. And on top of that, you could do something like where you get a basic template of how to make your proposal.
Yeah.
And then that way, you're not just paying $50 for some nonsense membership to hopefully one day you get chosen for a weekend sponsorship. But you're also setting people up to not just rely on us, but you can go to other companies as well with the information that we are able to provide for you for technically free almost.
Yeah.
It's the $50 membership, but you get added bonuses of that. And then that sets them more up to be able to sustain the next event after you sponsor them, or whatever the circumstance works.
Yeah.
But I think the membership can be played with a little bit there.
Yeah.
I think.
So that's something that we're going to continue to figure out ways to add more value.
Yeah.
For sure. So, and it's not a membership in the sense of there's no reoccurring cost. You know what I'm saying? It's a one-time deal.
Yeah.
And it doesn't expire. So whether, we're giving something away every week or every month, you're in it. Right.
Yeah.
So, we do have some other ideas too for some larger, sponsorships. But more to come. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Figure out all the logistics on that. But yeah.
So who are some of the drivers that you've helped so far?
So, glad you asked. So our first one, the first driver we selected was Jarek, and he has not hit the track yet. So he's one that we'll see him in 2024, because he had wrist surgery right as we launched.
Shit.
But he signed up before the website was even 100% done. So for him to support me, I am supporting him. Like that shit was so real to me, especially because in that moment, we were supposed to launch October 1st, and the website was still giving me issues on October 1st, like the company I was working with.
Yeah.
So I was super overwhelmed and frustrated. And on one of the refreshes to test something, his profile popped up, and I was like, what? Like it's real. Like, holy crap. The guy, like, what?
He actually did it.
Yeah. So I was, that was a super real moment for me.
Yeah.
So definitely hooking him up. So he was the first person that we selected to help. Then it was Jeremy Jordan from Cincinnati, Ohio. And the event we sponsored him for was Drift Indies Halloween Bash.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think y'all are understanding this quite well. This is so new that there's not that many people there. Do you understand the odds?
I'll tell you like this. We have 40 driver profiles, and we've selected 4 drivers. So that's
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
Dude, if you're not signing up now, you're not going to have the opportunity to win later on. I guarantee. There's going to be way too many people that comes into it because 40 people.
That's it.
You're going to be one of 41 people. Imagine that. To win $1,000 for $50.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And that's just the start of it. So if you help now, you sign up now, and you possibly will win that. You never know. But that also brings the support to the company in order for him to continue to grow it, offer more prizes, more things that will help you guys later on in your drifting careers. So the concept that you got is pretty fucking sick. I like it.
So Jeremy Jordan was second.
Yeah, sorry, I did kind of cut you off.
No, you're good. I appreciate that. Because I'm probably the worst to plug myself or to like get people to sign up.
Like, because that's stuff like that pops into my head, and I'm like, all I see is like very good odds there. This is so new. Not many people that you're already giving the money away. So
exactly.
like, yeah, $50 to have the odds of maybe 50 people.
Yeah, and there's a different option too, because if you spend $75 in merch, you get a profile for free. So if you want, just buy a hoodie and a t-shirt and set up your profile.
And then you get value up front, and then you get the profile. You might win.
I don't know when this is airing, but Christmas presents, buy somebody else a t-shirt and a hoodie, and you get the profile for free, right? So it's like,
hey, that's pretty smart though. I ain't gonna lie.
So it's still we
or I've got like 3% female viewers. If you got a boyfriend out there that drives, buy him the fucking membership. Then you get an extra gift of buying him, or buy the merch, you get the membership, and then you have a gift or a stocking stuffer or whatever for you.
By the way, we don't have a single female driver. So if you are a female driver, please sign up.
Dude.
Like,
there you go.
We just made our first female tee that says clutch kit queen on the back. We're adding in more merch as we go too, and designing more designs, but we don't have a single female driver. So
I think the only reason I even have 3% of female audience is because I have cats that come on the podcast sometimes. They're like, babe, oh my God, there's a cat on the podcast you're watching. And that's the only reason they stick around. So yeah. But if you're a chick and you drive, go sign up.
That's it.
Hell yeah.
So one thing, all right, so let me finish with our drivers first. And then
keep doing it.
Hey, this is nothing new. So then it was Travis Fawcett, and Travis. So I partnered with Drift Indy. They provided an entry for their drift clinic and their November drift day. Nice. So, and then I provided the tires for the event. So it was a joint partnership, and for that event, obviously, we needed to select a driver that could attend that event on that given day. So Travis was our guy. He's a newer driver, and that's the other thing too. Like people often ask on every ad, it's like, "Oh, how many followers do you got to have, or how popular?" I don't care about any of that stuff. Like that stuff doesn't apply. If you have a profile, you have a chance. Like that's it. So he was our third driver, and he was the second to hit the track. Super dope. I mean, he got to experience the drift clinic, got one-on-one coaching and all of that on Friday, and then on Saturday, he got to drift all day with the homies, with his brothers, which is super dope. I will say I do read everybody's profiles. Like, call me crazy, but it's probably because we only have 40.
Well, you want to know who your audience is.
I love people's stories. Like how they discovered drifting, like who do they do it with, like just their builds.
In the application, do you have a section in there for like how did you find us?
I don't, but that's a great question.
You should definitely put that in.
I can have that added,
because especially running sponsored ads and stuff, you want to know if those ads are actually working.
For
sure. If they're coming from that, you want to know. If they're coming from somewhere else, that's where you need to be dumping your money more.
For sure.
So, just a piece of advice there,
that is great. That is great advice, actually.
Yeah.
So
I personally ask them too. Like if you actually contact them in any type of way, like ask them, like, how did you even hear about us, by the way? And they'll tell you. They don't care.
Oh yeah, and I have, because some have reached out, actually inboxed me.
Oh nice.
From the ad, and then next thing I know, they have a profile. So I'm like, I'll thank them after, because I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like, so. And it's pretty obvious, the ones that are from like people who I know, or somebody I know that knows someone, right? Like it's because we have a disproportionate amount from the Michigan, Ohio area. Yeah. I mean, it's a given. Yeah. Because I drift in that area quite often, right? But then I have people in Oregon, Washington, Vegas, that I'm like, man, this is super dope. So I'm like, I want to read their story, what they're about. I have people from down south, down here. So Super dope.
Dude,
Super
wait
dope.
till you start getting people from the UK and shit.
Yeah, like
that's one thing that blows my mind every time I look at my analytics. I have viewers in Australia, UK, fucking Ireland, like New Zealand, like places I would never even guess that drifting is even known there.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I don't know, and not to spark a debate, but is there a chance that drifting's bigger in Europe than it is in the US?
Possibly.
I mean, I don't know what those stats look like, but
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I like drift games better than Formula Drift. Truthfully,
you mean
from a viewer standpoint?
Oh, 100%.
I love Drift Masters way better.
Oh, I'm with you. 100%.
It's so much more consumable.
Yes.
But so in that sense, I would say, yeah, maybe Europe, over in that area of the world, drifting is a little bit more prominent. Because NASCAR is so big here that it kind of just pushes drifting out of the way, and every other motorsport that's relative to it. Drag racing, same thing.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about this a little bit off camera, but is this something that's do you want it to branch off into other motorsports as well, or solely just drifting?
So that's been the debate. And that's one. So I'll be very transparent in saying, I drift. I love drifting. Drifting is the reason why it exists in the first place. It's where the idea came from.
Yeah.
It's all of it came from drifting and the culture and just being around, and how drifting is so unique in the sense of everybody wants you to do better. Like everybody wants you to get good, right? Because it's funner when you're better, right? Like, and I think even my first time out, right, that day where it rained, it snowed, all of that, when every time I'd go out, the guy who was working grid would clap for me. Like if I got, if I linked the first two turns.
Dude, that's a thing. Whoever's flagging, make fucking friends with them.
Yes.
They're normally one of the coolest dudes at the track too, just to be real. Nick Swan is one of them. I'll fucking preach that. That's my dude.
Yes. But, his comment will forever be burned in my brain.
Which one?
The one where he says he loves seeing people love drifting.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah. Like forever be burned, because that's
a t-shirt. He needs to make that a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah. So that experience was like so unreal, because you're in there, you're nervous, you're trying to learn, it's your first time out, and there's some dude who doesn't know you at all, like believing in you, like cheering you on, clapping. That shit was like,
that's good shit, dude.
Yeah. So, and then the next event was the first time my son drove. And same thing, same situation. So I love drifting. So back to your question. But then I have friends that are all parts of motorsports. I have drifters, I have drag racers, tuners, and they're all like, I think you should cast a wider net. I think you should, I think you could benefit more people.
Yeah.
And so that's still up for debate. I mean,
see, I argued this, and let me know what you guys think in the comments if you think differently. But I see that in more of a clutch kickers type aspect. Like you would be shooting too heavy in the beginning and like kind of just shooting yourself in the foot, not have anywhere to progress from. So because right now, that's why I told you in the shop when we were talking about it, that you can sell drifting.
Yeah.
Like no problem. Like, because that's what you're passionate about.
Yeah, love it.
So you wouldn't know how to sell drag racing to someone that would want to sign up to possibly win the sponsorship. You wouldn't be able to gain them, probably. So you would be funneling so much resources to something that you don't even know how to sell.
Yeah.
So when you could focus on what you know how to sell, build that to its most biggest potential, and then just hire somebody that knows drag racing to do it for you.
And that was always my think track.
Yeah.
I think now that it's happening, like obviously there's more people who are like, oh, you should do this, like yeah. But that was always my think track. Even when people ask on the ads, like, hey, is this only for drifting? I usually say yes, but more to come, right? Because my thought was, hey, if I can make it sustainable off drifting, then I could hire someone that that is just as passionate as I am about this, about something else.
Yeah.
And I mean, where does it stop? Only God knows, right? Like, because there's just about everything, right? Like when you think about grid life, you could also be doing something with the guys who are.
Yeah, you could be doing dirt bikes,
Yeah,
riding dirt bikes,
right.
off-road trucks, whatever.
It's like there's so much like cross pollination with different with drifting in different sports right now, or different venues where they do a drag and drift. You know, they have a skid pad and they have which actually just this weekend, my last driver, which I didn't touch on, Devin Marty, I think the event he was at, the Vegas Drift event, I think was an import like face off, which I think was drag racing.
Yeah.
And then they had the skid pad, which was the drifting.
Yeah.
So there is opportunities for them to cross. But I would want it to, I don't want to do a disservice to either. Yeah, I love drifting, right? Like, so that's my heart's in this.
Yeah.
So I would want somebody where their heart's in it too. But it's all about sustainability, right? If I can form the right partnerships in drifting, I think it would make it good to, you know, to get more value for more giveaways, more value, for the people signing up.
Yeah.
Right. And more frequently.
Yeah. So that was going to be one of my next questions was how frequently are you right now doing the draws?
So we were doing them, I think it was translating to every 2 weeks is the way
That's
we were.
Still pretty frequent.
It was. I've slowed it down since to figure out, right? Because we were experimenting. You know, we're trying to figure out what is the right. And then we quickly realized that we can't equate time to money. Right. In a sense, like, so 2 weeks could either be a lot of sales or no sales.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to get to a method that is sustainable. So we're trying to figure that out now. And I think part of that is obviously we don't have a lot of reach because we're new. So we're spending a lot of money on advertising, on ads. And if we can reduce one cost, then we can increase the frequency, or if we can reduce or increase sales, then we can, you know. So we're trying to figure out what is the right cadence so what we have done now is we didn't put a date on it, which kind of sucks because I had a timer on the site. So you knew exactly the day and time that I was going live.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so I removed the timer and now we're trying to figure out what the threshold is. Like once we get to X amount of dollars, right, then we can sponsor someone.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's with us doing it just all on ourselves. Yeah. Right. So now that we're soliciting partnerships, if we can get some of the brands to jump on board with us, you know, then it's not all on me. Right. So it's not, I don't have to come up with every dollar that we're giving away. They might match it, or we can do maybe even store credits or different things with different people. And the other thing is, right, we've been very one-dimensional in entries and tires. Right. So we're also thinking about changing that up. Right. So through partnerships, maybe you don't need tires. Maybe, I mean, I know it's the consumable and it is what we go through no matter what.
Yeah. But
there's a chance that what's stopping you from getting on track is just a couple mods that are left or something that went wrong that you need to repair.
Yeah.
Like, and we want to be able to figure out a way to make that work. So.
Yeah. You would just have to set the parameter of a set of tires or $600 or whatever.
Right.
Fuck. That seems too cheap for 4 tires, but
yeah.
Well,
no,
that might be about right.
That's
for some
about
Acceleras and shit, but yeah. So yeah, you could do something like that. That way, because I do understand that not everyone's gonna need the tires. Most people do buy in bulk. Well, not most. Some people do buy in bulk at the beginning of the season, shit like that. So I could see that being a complication. I know we talked a little bit off camera as well about possibly doing some top tier drivers, like having some basically 3 tiers of drivers that are on a long-term basis so that there's something to work up to within the membership, along with the $1,000 giveaway weekend sponsorships and stuff. So I don't know if you want to present that to the audience in any type of way of if that's something they would be interested in or not. So,
and it's with that, it's more of, because that's what at the beginning when I said like even like that's what we're working towards. Because at the end of the day, the money just needs to be there. Because we would love to have drivers that represent us year round, right? Like that would be ideal, especially because we can't be the events that I'm going to be at are more than likely going to be in the Midwest and some down south. I'm going to try to branch out a little bit west, but the chances that I'm driving to California are very slim, right? The chances that I'm going to be in Florida are slim. You know what I'm saying? So we would love to have representation long term in different parts of the country. So that's the North Star. Like, honestly, that's what we're working towards is creating enough value and enough profits to actually be able to do more of that along with it's because I never want to get away from helping people do what they love in the vehicles they love. Right. Like that's the end goal. That's the end game. Always. So the number of people that I rather do 10 people at 1,000 than 5 people at, $2,000. At the end of the day, like, so we just got to generate the income to make it work. Right. Cause we, at the end of the day, we want to have the biggest, impact on the community. We want to help as many people as we can. Yeah. So anything else that we do is going to be in addition to our
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you based it off of a member basis, so if let's say they did the $75 worth of merch, they got their free membership. How many of those people would you need to do the next giveaway?
So, all right. So that's a great question because if we took marketing out of it, let's just take expenses. Let's just take expenses out of it.
Sponsored posts or any type of marketing.
If we would need 20 people, right? Like
that's crazy.
It's not much.
Yeah.
It's really not. Yeah. So we've been doing it at double the pace. We've been doing it at double the rate.
I'll bring it up again. There's 40 people. 20 more people, you're still only at 60.
Yeah.
1 out of 60 odds to get a weekend paid, basically, to go to a grassroots event. Come on. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're in our infancy, and we're going to continue to build that up, especially as we get better at posting more often, being at more places physically so people get to meet us. I think with any organization, period, that comes out of the blue, that comes out of nowhere, people are skeptic. Like, this guy's taking my money. Like, for sure. This is a cash grab. This guy is just going to...
Yeah.
And
I've never seen you at an event. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So, as people see us... So, the first event that we were actually at as a vendor was at Summit Point for Faint or Fright, which was a Drift HQ event. So, that was the first one that we were at. We want to do a lot more of that next year so we get to talk to people. The great thing is that my son gets to drive and I get to mingle. So, like I can talk with all the drivers and the car's still out there. They're still
getting in spotlight.
Yep.
It's all a tax write-off.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. And we want to do a lot more of that in 24. Okay. But yeah, I think, I don't.
It takes help to get helped.
Yes.
So
for sure.
If you guys want your chance at helping or getting helped, just sign up. It's so simple. But yeah. Well, do you got anything else to add to that you want to make sure the audience knows? And of course, you guys, put your input in the comments. Let him know what you would rather see with the company, what changes you would rather see immediately if there's any that he could physically do. But yeah, is the entry too high? Is it too low?
Right.
What do you literally any type of criticism you got in the comments?
Like I'm glad he's asking for me, but yeah, I definitely want to know. Because where we're at, we're very flexible with being so new. And we're experimenting. We're gonna try different things. Next month, well, actually, damn, I forget this month.
Just started.
Yeah, just started this month. We're gonna try to do some smaller giveaways, maybe even some social media stuff.
Yeah.
Just something different, something new.
Make a post that you're gonna pick a random subscriber to give a shout out on the stories each week.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah. Yeah. So
you just find ways to help to let other people engage with your content without you putting in the effort. Well, I guess that's all you got on the company.
Well, one last thing. I didn't get to my last driver.
Oh,
and he went out, and he went out this weekend, which I just spoke on.
Yeah.
So Devin Marty, and I want to shout out all of them, obviously, because I'm on the podcast and we sponsored them, and they're super dope. If you go to our main page, go to our website, they're right on the main page. There's a scroll. Yeah. If you click on it, it'll take you to their profile, so you can see more about them. But Devin Marty just drove this weekend, and the guy is off the hook. Super cool dude, super humble guy.
Hell yeah.
And super dope car. 240, like 600 plus horse.
Yeah, you said it was 2J, right?
2J, yeah. Sick. Big turbo 2J.
Inline 6 for the win, baby.
Yes. Honestly, the best part about doing any of this is really the people, bro. It's meeting great people. And
same thing this thing exists,
yeah.
Dude. I love drifting. I just want you to love it as much as I do.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And like Swan said, I just love seeing people love drifting.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah. Well, all right. That's all we got for that then, right?
I think so. I mean, we'll ask if they have any questions or any suggestions, put it in there, and
of course.
I'll definitely be scrolling through there.
Yeah.
So, for sure.
Hell yeah. So ask away, but that's pretty much all we got. So what's your best piece of advice for anyone just getting into drifting?
Oh,
this is at the end of every podcast.
Yes, but when you're on the spot, it hits a little different. Hits a little different. I'm gonna give this advice. I don't want to be judged, but I'm gonna give this advice because I've been next to my son since the first day he got in the car and drifted.
Yeah.
And it's commit. You gotta fucking commit. Like that's what drifting is. In order to keep it in drift, it's about your commitment.
Yeah.
So fucking smash the gas and commit.
Yeah.
So that would be my piece of advice to anybody new is commit. Commit. I mean,
in drift and just pursuing the sport.
Yes.
Literally.
Oh, for sure.
Because Swan said that great, that drifting takes care of itself.
Yeah.
So if you're not providing within the sport, you will get consumed and spit out real fucking quick.
For sure.
So that's good advice.
Yeah.
I dig that.
So
I don't know. Well, all right. If you want to plug yourself, plug your people, anything like that, go for it.
All right. Well, I think I've already plugged all the drivers so far. You could be the next driver for sure. Stop by sponsoredadrenaline.com. Sign up. I think you've heard enough. And if you have questions, obviously ask away. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Hell yeah. Well, there you go. And of course, if you are not subscribed, go ahead and look down below the video. That button's still red. Go ahead and click it along with the bell notification as well. And then, of course, if you want to be in this spot, the hot seat, of course, you can email me at thecircleofdrift@gmail.com. Just make sure to put the subject, of course, it's drift resume, so I can organize it and not lose your email. Please don't be that guy. God. But drop a comment. Let me know who you guys want to see on the podcast too. Of any of the guys that you watch on YouTube or see drive in FD, Pro-Am, Prospect, whatever the fuck it is. Let me know. But that's all I got. That's all we got. So appreciate you for coming on.
Yes, sir.
This is a great podcast. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments, of course, too. But that's it. We'll see you each Sunday for a new episode. Peace.
Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home runs, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want 4-4-4, then I leave. I'm a young pop star, call the boy Justin Bieber. Got a little money if you want, I can teach you. Whole life a movie, you can watch it in theater. Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to